when I think about Jalen and Jacoby, like you were one of the first former NBA players to have a podcast. Mm-hmm. And now there's a whole NBA podcast culture. How do you feel about that?
I was the first, and it started at the same time at Breakfast Club. Being in that space taught me a lot about multimedia, executive producing the Fab Five documentary, the 81 Olives with Kobe Bryant, executive producing that. So I've been in this space for a very long time, and this is just a graduation of that mission.
Should active players have podcasts?
Yes, but it's very tough for a current athlete to be honest and have a podcast while they're performing because you can't talk about your team, your coach, your teammates, but you can't talk about your opponents and be like legitimately saying what you feel. So it's not real.
It could disrupt the locker room, right?
It definitely disrupts the locker room because I remember Mike D'Antoni when I was playing for the Suns and I was doing it and he didn't want me to do it. I'm like, I ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? It was the year when Robert Horry hit Steve Nash into the scorers table, and I'll never forget because I was like one of the guys. I was like the ninth man, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get some minutes." I went back to Phoenix, and John McCain was staying in my hotel. My apartment. That's another story for another day. The late great
John McCain stayed at your apartment. Hold on, finish it.
Yes, and so I'm like, get back. We flew back. I was in the weight room. I was on the treadmill. Like, I'm going to play. He's like, no, you know what I'm saying? You're going to talk about it on your show, so we ain't going to.
Wow.
And he signed me.
Wow.
Yeah, that really happened. And the John McCain thing, and as I bring it up, because it just sparked the thought, that was one of the reasons why I started my school, actually. Because I remember him saying and again, I'm paying respect to the dead. I ain't got no shots or shade at him, but this is a real-time thing. He was like stomping to run for president. And they were like, why don't you feel like you need to go stomp in Detroit? He was like, well, when the world gets sick, Detroit gets the flu. And that always stuck with me. And so to me, I was like, I'm going to try to do something to change the dynamics of how people see Detroit. And that kind of sparked what led to me now starting the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy.
How'd y'all develop a relationship, you and John McCain?
No, we ain't have a relationship.
We just stayed in your apartment?
No, I was just rich and he was rich and we stayed in the suburbs.
I got one more question about podcasts. Should Rich Paul have a podcast?
For him right now, no. And that's my guy, and I know he's going to text me right after this because everything he says is going to be attributed to something that people think he talked about with LeBron. And LeBron's still a current player. He still represents so many players and elite players in the game. You're like giving away some of the trade secrets and you're like diminishing a little bit of the respect sometimes that you may get for the people in power when you're making moves, when you're speaking about them publicly. Most of the moves that are highlighted are made in silence.
Would you want to sign to an agent as a player? If you were a player, would you sign to an agent who had a podcast?
I mean, they getting blank check money. So if you get me that kind of bread, you can say what you want to say. Talk away with, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else can be mad at you, you know what I'm saying? But like,
YouTube, I know y'all pissed off right now. Okay, another clip, but
we're on Netflix, man. Stop acting like y'all don't have motherfucking Netflix. I'm sick of y'all acting like y'all don't have Netflix. It actually disgusts me. If there was any other paywall, I would completely understand. Netflix been around just as long as The Breakfast Club. It's on everybody's remote controls. It's in hotel rooms. You got Netflix. Talking about, we ain't paying for Breakfast Club. You paid for Diddy Doc. You paid for Stranger Things. You paid to watch Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. You know why you paid? Because you've been paying for Netflix for the last 15 years. It's not like, Breakfast Club is on there now, so now we charging you more money to watch. Just go to the podcast section. Click on the podcast section, type in Breakfast Club, and everything will be right there. Donkey of the day, the full interview, whatever you're looking for, the full episode. Go do it, man. Okay? Just change. That's all. Change is good. Have a great day.